procurement and install of a street-side bike repair station. The MTCA area is part of the Shelburne Corridor. We feel that this grant will fit within the goals of the Saanich Official Community Plan, Local Area Plan, and Draft Shelburne Valley Action Plan. As we know, there's more and more growth of high-density developments in our area, in Saanich and the MTC area. And we'd like to show initiative in our community especially by having a project such as this that's sustainable, promotes health, and benefits the whole community. We all know, well, all of the bikers in the meeting know that it's important to have a safe and reliable bike to ride, and our project sets out to achieve this. What we feel is needed is a free community bike pit stop area where riders are provided an industrial bike stand, air pump, and tools to tune up or fix their bike. Some of you may already be familiar with the system in use. It's this one here. One's actually located without the pump, very, very close at the Lochside Trail and Darwin Avenue, just off to the southeast side of your parking lot there. Hopefully you've had an opportunity to use it and see it. If you haven't, I encourage you to have a look at it after tonight's meeting. There's also one located at Cedar Hill Rec Center that I've seen in use many times, as well as the surrounding communities. With every investment in our community, we obviously want it to last. The bike repair station is specifically built to withstand all types of weather, use and abuse. The base of the system bolts to the cement, the tools are welded to the stand, and the air pump is made out of a metal cylinder. Mount Ptolemy community is an ideal spot for the bike pit stop that we're presenting, as it's the hub of many routes. The cycle networks of Gordon Head, Mackenzie, Cedar Hill, Richmond both have intersections within the MTC boundaries and several local connectors and touring routes. Here's a quick zoom in of the local touring routes within our area boundary of the MTC area. A few locations being identified for installation, both public and private, but we're waiting to secure funding before discussing those with potential partners. There's 3 high-density developments along the Shelburne Corridor, as well as a commercial development, and I'm sure if we said that we'd pay for it, they'd be happy to put one in. As we move forward with a sustainable city, cycling will become more and more of a part of our daily life. Along with that is the support as a community that we need to provide for those cycling. I feel that a bike repair station will provide the residents of Saanich and Mount Ptolemy an easy and accessible way to repair their bikes on the go while commuting and exploring through Saanich. Thank you for your consideration, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Councillor Plant and Dermot Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just through you to the applicant, I think I heard you say you believe you have 3 places that it could possibly go.
Correct, yeah.
And would all of these be within walking distance from Shelburne?
Yes,
So,
yeah, basically within the Shelburne Corridor.
Okay, great. So thank you. I'm going to ask a subsequent question to our Acting Director of Recreation. I'm just curious, with the bike kitchens we already have, can you please tell me, have we had any vandalism and has there been any need to then maintain those bike kitchens we've already put in?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Try again, through you, Mr. Mayor. The only one that I know of is there's been some vandalism at the one at Perks Recreation Center. The tools were taken off, but it was very easy to repair, and we've actually moved the location of that to a more a place that can be observed by staff as well as citizens that are using the facility.
Thank you. So just a follow-up question again, would be through you to Acting Director of Parks and Recreation. If we wanted to ensure that the ongoing maintenance of said bike kitchen provided to the community association was part of council's budgeting, where would we refer that to? Because I would love to see this potentially happen, but what if someone was to vandalize it? Would we see them here again next year saying, well, let's put another one in, or would we take care of that?
There's something I can interject. If we do put it on a development, it's something that we might be able to potentially within our discussions to put it on to the development management company or the property management company of that development, whether it's a commercial or a private one.
So I guess the question is, where would we'd have to make a motion to somehow include that in the park and recreation budget for maintenance of said item?
Through the Mayor to Councillor Plant, it sounds like it was a negligible amount required to repair, so I don't see it being an onerous. I would imagine be able to be handled within existing budgets. If we did start to experience significant vandalism to a number of them, we would maybe want to revisit.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Dermott?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through you. First of all, hopefully we wind up with decent cycling structure along the Shelburne corridor. That would be a first start. But this is more a general comment that I hope staff hears as well. And that is we are now seeing more bike kitchens around the community, and that's a good thing. It would be nice to have an app that people could simply look at their smartphone and find out where the nearest bike kitchen was, especially if they had an issue they needed to work with. As was mentioned by Councillor Haynes last night, Darrell Wick of Mount Doug has developed an app for locating trails and so forth in the park, which I imagine could be adapted very easily. So it might be something we might want to talk about.
It's definitely something we'd be interested in, something that we've talked about. Currently, right now, the MTCA is developing an interactive printed map, mind you, but I'm sure once that's completed, we can easily adapt it if there is an application, a phone application, templates, say. I'm sure we can take all that
I think
information.
Mr. Wick has a template that would be useful too. Thank you.
And is he part of the Mount Doug Community Association? Or?
He's part of the Friends of Mount Douglas.
Oh, so he does the trails. I actually know that map. So,
Yeah.
Any more questions from council? All right, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you for your time.
I'd like to invite the example up to the microphone, Life Cycles Project Society. About their project, Sandwich Fruit Tree Project, and for seed libraries.
Hello. Good evening, Saanich Mayor and Council. My name is Marita Prado, and I'm the Director of Life Cycles Project Society. At Life Cycles, our mission is to cultivate communities by connecting people with the food that they eat and the land that it comes from. We support people in gaining the knowledge, skills, and resources needed to access, grow, and preserve local food, and we've been doing this work for 22 years. Last year, we reached 28,000 people through our work in collaboration with 97 community partners, which includes you, and over 400 volunteers. And this year, we're asking Council for $10,000 to help support our Saanich-based fruit tree project and seed library work. So $6,000 for our fruit tree project work in Saanich and $4,000 for our seed library work at 4 Saanich libraries. The Fruit Tree Project organizes teams of volunteers to pick fruit and produce from privately owned trees and farms that would otherwise go to waste. The harvest is then shared 4 ways among homeowners, volunteers, food banks, and community organizations, and Life Cycles makes value-added products with the remaining fruit. It costs us roughly $80,000 each year to run the Fruit Tree Project, and about a third of the project fruit tree picks happen in Saanich. In 2015, in the 2015 season, we broke our organizational record, and we engaged 2,008 volunteers and gleaned over 50,000 pounds of fruits and vegetables across the CRT. In Saanich, we broke records as well, and we gleaned 15,000 pounds of fruits and vegetables. And this bounty was redistributed to those in need in the community. So the benefits to Saanich in 2016 would be that we'd continue this vital service for homeowners, which would give us savings of 8,000 pounds of carbon dioxide emissions, engage 100 volunteers, and provide 20,000 servings of fresh fruit and or vegetables to those in need in Saanich. And then secondly, we're asking for $4,000 to help support the 4 Saanich seed libraries. So our seed library program provides free public access to locally produced seed and seed-saving education through a partnership with the Greater Victoria Public Library. The programs include member orientations, seed library days, seed-saving workshops, and events. So in 2016, we want to increase membership at all 4 Saanich libraries, host 4 seed library lending days and 8 seed-saving workshops, and build 3 new library community nodes in Saanich, which provides free access to materials and tools for community seed saving. So thank you very much for your consideration.
Any questions from members of council? Councilor Newman.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor, through you. Just one, I think the programs are very good, and I well remember I wasn't on council, but I remember the first presentation from this group to council a number of years back. And thought it was an excellent idea at that time. Just wondered, since The fruit tree project, which I think is a tremendous project, involves groups of volunteers. Where does the $80,000 budget go?
Yeah, so in terms of coordinating those volunteers, so we have a during the season, we have 2 staff. So we have a fruit tree project coordinator. That person needs to train volunteers, coordinate all the volunteer picks, make sure that there's a harvest leader at each one of those picks who actually knows what to do at the pick, and then homeowners also have to be followed up with. So that's one, and then there's a harvest coordinator, and that harvest coordinator, the majority of their role is redistributing all of that fruit. So last year, we have between 35 and 45 agencies where we're redistributing that fruit. So those to those agencies that need it. So there's those 2 roles take the majority of that cost. We also have some money that goes into our social enterprise, so creating those value-added products. And we've been trying to do a lot more development of our social enterprise in the last couple of years, taking that fruit and making those value-added products. So that is part of the cost as well.
Thank you.
Councillor Haynes and then Plant.
Thank you for the presentation. Appreciate the work you do for local food. My question is actually to our Director of Finance. Ms. Tierney, I see that the sustainability grants for some of the other groups were under the column sustainability grants, World Fisheries, Women's Everyday Bicycling. When I look at Life Cycle's project, I'm having difficulty seeing $10,000. Am I in the wrong columns?
Is it, Councilor Place, is the page, yeah, it's missing from there, we need to add that in. It is a mistake on the screen.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Councillor Plant.
Thank you, Ms. Prado. I appreciate very much the work that Life Cycles does in our community, but I find your application to be very incomplete.
Okay.
It references attached documents and the scant information included on how the money will be spent. It's not very detailed.
Okay.
And as much as I support the organization as the steward of Saanach's funds, I don't see enough specificity. Thank you, colleagues. And so that gives me concern, not because I don't value the work that you do, but as the steward of these funds, I expect to see the application filled out completely. I draw your attention to the information on revenues. There are no listed other revenues, where expenses, and while you talk about these initiatives that are valuable, and absolutely I want them to happen,
Yeah.
I don't see actually the cost breakdown of
Okay.
what they are going to cost. And I think that in order for me to support the request, I have to see that information.
Sure. So there's missing budget information.
Well, if you just go back to the application,
Yeah.
there's lots of references to see attached document, and then some sections are just not filled out at all.
Oh, okay, that's strange. I had a bit of a different application process because we had a proposal in initially to Saanich that was going to be outside of this process, and that proposal actually ended up not happening. So I found out 2 days before the application was due that that proposal was not passed, and so I very quickly. So if there is missing information, I'm happy to make sure that information is included.
Thank you. So I would request that
Sure.
supplementary information be provided either through our Director of Finance office or through the way you applied before.
Okay.
Thank you.
Councillor Haynes, go ahead.
Let's go a second time. Sorry for that, Mr. Mayor. Under the community contribution, sustainability grant requests 5,000 and over must be matched 100% with at least 50% of the match contribution being secured from external sources. That part of the application is completely blank. It's a requirement. It looks like to me it's a requirement.
Okay. I'm really sorry about that. When I submitted the application, to my knowledge, it was full, but it didn't get submitted through the normal chains. So I'll make sure that that's followed up. And so apologies for that. How much time, I guess as soon as is possible?
We'll hear from our Director of Finance to sort
Okay.
this out.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Because these are sustainability grants, they're reviewed by the sustainability coordinator, and so it's the coordination between that department and finance. So we will follow up with Mr. Boyson.
Okay.
Perhaps he has the information, and if we can't get it from him, we will contact you directly to get it by the
Great.
end of the week.
Thank you.
Any more questions from council? All right, thank you for your presentation.
You're welcome.
All right, up next is the Greater Victoria Cycling Coalition for the project bike route assessment rides and workshops.
Good evening. Hi, I'm Ray Stratzma, a Saanich resident, and I'm here with the Greater Victoria Cycling Coalition today, Mayor and Council. Thanks for the opportunity to share and present our proposal with you this evening. The Greater Victoria Cycling Coalition's mandate is to promote bike riding as a means of everyday transportation and recreation. We strive to promote and communicate the many personal, social, and economic benefits of bicycle riding in the capital region. We have a membership base of over 500 members, many active volunteers, and 2 part-time contractors. The GVCC has been very impressed with Saanich's ongoing commitment to build bicycle routes throughout the district. Work in recent years, the Complete Streets projects, Cook Street, the plans for both Shelburne and Borden Street, just to cite some recent examples, are especially welcome. All of these projects will help enable people to ride their bikes more often, providing comfortable, convenient, safe transportation choices for Saanich residents and visitors. The GVCC continues to support these initiatives in positive and constructive ways through ongoing communication with Saanich staff, via the Saanich's BIPED committee, and through our online communication channels. In 2016-2017, we would like to expand this public engagement by promoting and exploring Saanich's bicycle routes and projects through a series of bicycle route assessment rides and workshops. Saanich is a large municipality, so many bicycle lanes recently installed in the district remain unknown even to regular bike riders and commuters in the region and in Saanich. We believe a series of organized bike rides and field trips will provide a close-up view of both these new bicycle facilities and provide opportunities to assess the challenges and options ahead to build a robust bicycle network. We think this is timely because this year, District of Saanich Engineering Planning staff are launching an active transportation plan, as you know, to look in detail at pedestrian and bicycle facilities across the district. This bicycle and pedestrian network plan is a timely opportunity for residents, citizens to explore, review, and discuss potential routes and design options in Saanich. We think there's no better way to get a close look at these options and opportunities than to get out on 2 wheels through a series of neighborhood rides and follow-up events and workshops. So this is intended to complement Saanich's public planning process. We've discussed this a little bit with some of your Saanich staff, and we look forward to this kind of reciprocal public engagement where the cycling community can learn from Saanich staff, and staff can hear from the experience and observations of regular and newer bike rides. We've also engaged, just quickly, the Greater Victoria Placemaking Network and WeBike, who you heard from earlier, who are interested participants in this kind of engagement to look at cycling, public spaces, and pedestrians. So we look forward to ongoing partnership with Saanich staff on this kind of enterprise, but we do think it's a new and different way to sort of engage a planning process moving forward. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Councilor Brown, I'll give you a question.
Thank you. Thanks, Ray. I'm curious about if the GVCC Saanich not only is doing the active transportation plan, but we're also doing a number of safe routes to school.
Right. Yeah,
So I'm wondering if the GVCC would be looking at working on those as well in the neighborhood. Like, I guess I'm a little concerned. I don't want 2 different processes where people will get concerned. So as long as you're coming together with our staff.
Yes, in fact, I mean, I'm sitting on a stakeholder committee with the HASTE group and Saanich staff with the Active Routes to School, so that's ongoing. I think they've had about 6 walkabouts now, 5 or 6 walkabouts in some of the schools in the Glanford area, so myself and others expect to be part of that. That's a process that I think started 6, 7, 8 months ago. We're kind of looking ahead from that, but we have enough capacity, volunteers, myself, and otherwise board members to sort of, we think, engage in both of those processes, so, and see them as complementary for sure.
Okay,
Thanks.
Councilor Trimble.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor, for you. Thanks, Ray. I'm presuming this would be a feed-in to the action plan.
Yes.
Would help with things like gap analysis. And so
Yes, yes. Again, you know, it's something I'm sure staff will be doing in their own way, but we feel there's, it's a way for them to hear directly from our members and the broader cycling community, and we can facilitate that kind of communication with them.
And I would agree with you that active on-the-ground cyclists sometimes have the best sense of where the gaps actually exist. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions from council? All right, thanks very much. Okay, our next applicant is the Friends United for Nature Society. I'd like to invite them up to the microphone. For their project, Fun Camps.
Hello, Mayor and Council. Thank you for the opportunity to present to you today. My name is Lucas Carr, and I'm the Operations Director at Friends United for Nature Society, or Fun Society. And today, let's speak about Fun Camps, as I said. We truly believe at Fun Society that kids can change the world, and our mission is to empower them with the skills, the opportunity, the education, and the belief in themselves to make this happen. We do this through a number of programs, but Fun Counts is our most foundational piece. It's what feeds into all of the others. Each summer we run 9 weeks of environmental education camps based on environmental themes such as water conservation, sustainable energy, transportation, etc. Each week these activities are carried out through engaging action activities, we like to say, rock climbing, whale watching, all sorts of things that children would not necessarily have the chance to do, and really gets them engaged in their local environment. That's the most reliable way that we have found to get environmental education to stick. So we don't believe that financial concerns should get in the way of children experiencing these activities. As a result, we ensure that 1/3 of our camp spaces are made available to low-income, at-risk children and youth, and these are nominated through third-party organizations to ensure that they go to those who need them most, school counselors, teachers, and local social work environments. With your support, we would like to take the 57 scholarships we offered last year and increase them to 80. Through these, we'll have 30 specifically from Saanich community, nominated by their teachers and school counselors directly. What makes our camps especially unique is what we call a passion project component, and this is also where we get into more of the sustainability aspect of the grants. Each week, every camper is encouraged to create a project of their own design, be they 6 or 16, so they vary obviously greatly in scale. But these projects are what they truly believe will help make the world a better place. And then we, in turn, provide them the opportunity throughout the school year to make these projects a reality through weekly mentorship meetings, a little bit of financial support, and monthly skill building workshops. To date, we've had intense success throughout creating environmental clubs in camps, local school gardens, and as well as a variety of other activities, because again, it's up to the children what they would like to do. We've been in operation since 2008, and every year we only get stronger, so I would hope that you would help us increase our reach. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Platt and Councilor Durham.
Hi, thank you very much for coming tonight and making this presentation. I'm just curious, you're showing your income statement from last year ending up with a net negative balance of $13,644. Just would be wanting to hear from the applicant that any funds that Saanich provided would not going to pay off existing debt or negative budget.
You can be assured it would not. That is somewhat misleading. In fact, we had an equitable number coming in late December that was reserved for our 2015 financial year.
Great, thank you.
Councilor Durham.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through you. Of the budget of revenue of $105,000 last year, I note that salary payroll expenses were in the range of $83,000. How many students are you actually running through summer programs?
Each year it varies. Last year we had 180 off the top of my head in one location. This year we're increasing that, we're doubling that amount. At least our goal is to.
Okay, and you only operate in the Capital Regional District, is that correct?
Last year we did correct the Greater Victoria area, not necessarily the Capital Regional District. We have in the past operated in Vancouver, but we have reduced our spread recently in order to be more effective.
Thank you.
Councillor Haynes.
Very interesting project. When the participants go to a camp, how long is the camp? And is it a camping experience under canvas, or is it in a classroom or in a field? How long is the camp, and what is the kind of venue?
They're weekly camps, and they do have a home base, as you will, that we, part of our desire to spend 75% of every day outside. So it's more of a drop-off pickup place, how we work in a variety of locations. This year we are hoping to work with Fairfield Gonzalez and Pearson International College, both very unique locations with access to wonderful outdoor spaces. And then from there they travel by public transit, by foot, by bike to local areas where they can connect with nature.
So if they're a weekly camp, that means that the participant spends the camp 1 week and then it's over. It's not that they come back the following week.
Correct, yes.
Thank you.
Councillor Dermott.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. What's the fee? Sorry, what's the fee for most participants? I noticed there is a revenue that comes from fees.
There is a revenue. It varies from week to week depending on the level of activities for that week. The average is $250.
And the 30% that are exempted from that, do they pay any fee, or is that?
It's completely free of charge, and we also provide transportation to and from their home to our camp.
Thank you.
Any more questions from council? All right. Seeing
Thank
none,
you for your
thank you
time.
for your presentation. I'd like to invite the next applicant up to the microphone, representative from the Fisheye Project Society, to talk about the Fisheye Project Live Dives. We have a bit of microphone feedback tonight, right? If you can sit down in the chair and move the microphone.
Okay, yeah, I have a bit of documentation.
Let's try this. Is it better? Hopefully not that much feedback. Well, hello Mayor and Councillors, thank you for having me. I'm Maeva Gauthier, I'm part of the Fisheye Project Society. Fisheye Project is ran by volunteers, and our mission is to connect kids and big kids with the ocean in a very unique way. We use innovative technology so the public can see, listen, talk, and share with divers as we explore our marine backyard. We call this edutainment. We've been doing live dives since 2011, starting at Fisherman's Wharf in Victoria for World Oceans Day. And it's been expanding from year to year, and now our reach online, we reach 35 countries and thousands of people. Many of them are students in classrooms in British Columbia. It allows people of any age and physical conditions to dive with us and participate in this thrilling underwater activity. Last year, the Saanich Sustainability Grant funded our live dive activity at the Cadboro Bay Festival, where our divers explored Cadboro Bay marine life and even tried to find the sea monster Cadborosaurus. We didn't find the sea monster, but there were many people that stopped at our booth and asked questions, and we had educators and marine biologists at the booth to facilitate those questions to the divers. And so people also learn about the impacts of climate change and ocean acidification in our marine backyard. So our type of event is shifting a little bit this year as we're launching a new experience, live dives on the giant screens. We're working with public spaces like IMAX theaters, science centers, and aquariums to maximize the quality of the event and increase the public participation. A marine educator will be on site to facilitate questions, and a pre- and post-curriculum documentation and activities will be provided.
For example, we'll have a hard hat with a virtual reality activity for after the live dive, so kids can really be immersed in the ocean and stay dry at the same time. So Saanich residents and schools will be invited to attend this unique event. It's called the Emerald Forest because our water is emerald here. So it's going to be on June 8th for World Oceans Day. And at this point, in terms of public spaces in our region, we have IMAX Victoria and the Sydney Ocean Discovery Center who can stream the event. And this is something that has never been done before. So we call it interactive cinema. So we're quite excited in launching this event this year. The Live Dive activity is a high-impact tool that helps spark conversations around ocean conservation, climate change, ocean acidification. Jacques Cousteau was saying that we care about what we know, so we really believe that everyone should have the chance to see the ocean and discover its wonders. So thank you very much. Any questions?
Yes, question from Councilor Dermott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through you. Interesting event, live streaming. Are you archiving the material?
Yes, everything is recorded.
Yeah, so that people can visit the website and where we're presenting.
Yes, no problem with that. We can provide the link afterwards. Yeah.
Thank you.
Councilor Plant.
Thank you. Just curious from the application, when is this event taking place?
June 8th, which is World Oceans Day.
So the question that we had earlier regarding the funds being available potentially just before the event, will this event happen regardless of the funds from Saanich?
It will happen. We've been running entirely on volunteers at this point, and we will manage to deliver the event, and even if we can pay people or pay the costs afterwards. We also have some partners in place, like Ocean Networks Canada and even World Fisheries Trust.